Hey everybody, I want to discuss a revelation I had earlier today watching Piers Morgan, of all the disgusting people to be watching. I don't like the man. Just a hint, if you didn't get that, he's just not, I can't stand the guy. He had a number of guests on his show, and they were, of course, discussing politics. And politics is not the main thrust of this video. However, sometimes if I find an example in something related to politics, then that's going to be the example I give. So just preface that I'm not looking into starting up a whole political debate, because this isn't about politics as much as it is a good approach to life that can either be healthy or malignant, depending on how you utilize it. So what do I mean? This was so what I observed is something that I have noticed. I've observed this several times, and that's this: people that agree about something, they agree about a situation, they cannot agree on a solution. So by this I mean they're sitting around the table discussing horrible dictator President Trump, and that he needs to get out of office. We need to get him out of office. Any method will do. We don't care about the method. Let's just get him out of office. Okay. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, let's see. The world's our oyster. Well, so then they start diving into the minutia of how to do it. And none of them could agree. And it just went around in circles. Now, you would think that when multiple like-minded people are together to come up with a solution to one problem, that there could be a consensus reached easily. But there's not. And so I want to get into the mechanics of why this happens and how this type of reaction can be created by somebody. So Trump lays the foundation for this effect to be created. And he does it in a very sort of genius way in his own right. Narcissists use this, and the point I'm going to make for you is that you can and should use this in your own life to some degree. Maybe, obviously, not the same degree as malignant people do it, but there's some value to it. And that's this: you have the right to declare your own reality. You can declare your own reality. You can declare your own desires, and you can declare the path you intend to take to make all of that happen. You have that right. Whether you have the ability is something else entirely. But you still have that right. So you have the right to say, this is what I'm going to be. This is how my life is going to go. These are the things I am going to do to get them. Now, you can easily see how Trump does this, because the man is in his own reality all the time. Nobody doubts that. Even whenever facts are wrong and he's blatantly wrong, he's still in his own reality and he's still correct. But it's his prerogative, and it's a prerogative everybody has, and not enough people do it. Now, this is why I'm recommending it, or that you at least try it. Because in his world, what he does, and the reason why he gets so much support, is he says, this is my reality, this is where I'm going, these are the things I'm doing. And that's really the underpinning of his base. They agree with what his reality is, where he's going with it, and the things he's doing to achieve it. When you start to, and this is usually a recipe for disaster in politics, because in politics you're supposed to be representing the will of the people, you're supposed to be making everybody happy, you're supposed to sort of cater to the average and meet in the middle. And it's anyone who doesn't do those things, it typically falls flat on their face. Here we have somebody who's doing the precise opposite of what politicians normally do, and he has this inalienable, supportive group of supporters. So it doesn't matter what he does. He could be eating babies for breakfast, and these people would be like, "Oh yeah, protein." But how do you get people on board with this? And it starts with the confidence you project in what you want your reality to be. So how confident are you in this reality that you want? You can say, "Oh, I'd love to be a billionaire." You're going to get people on your side believing, "Oh, yeah, he's going to be a billionaire one day because I heard him say it just like that. I'd like to be a billionaire." No. But you meet somebody that says, "I'm going to change the world. The world needs the blah, 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 and I'm going to make it happen. We are going to give the world something special." And then you say, "Well, okay, he's going places. He, she, zwe, zwei, whatever. This human earthling is going places," right? Get all the pronouns out there. And that is the primary mechanism that what drives this what drives this support. This is what drives his persona. All you have to do, just watch any recent videos of him. The man is so inhumanly confident now. Like, his balls are so big he can barely walk anymore. He's gonna have to put handlebars on his balls and just go riding around on his ball pad like, picture that. Two giant orange bean bags, like big old cheese balls, cheesy poofs, driving around with his little leather helmet on and goggles and handlebars, riding the presidential ball pad. But that's the image that he projects. That's why he has this inalienable support. And that's what makes him difficult to attack, even with agreement. Now, where the people failed on TV, and this is what I want to bring up. There's a saying that says the fastest way to go crazy is worrying about what makes everybody else happy and trying to please everybody else. That is the fastest way to go crazy. And that's precisely what happens when people start talking about opposition to Trump and what are the Democrats going to do in 2020, but in every situation as well. Everybody agrees on something in particular, but then whenever it comes to the solution, they start trying to get input from everybody else. They start trying to come to a group consensus. Let's make out a table, a 2-column table of all the pros and all the cons, and we'll put all the pros on one side with everybody's initials and all the cons on the other, and then we'll apply weighted values to each of the pros and each of the cons, and then we'll come up with a mediated sum and find out if there's a net gain. You see what I mean? Well, then it results in a condition known as analysis paralysis. That's a term used around white-collar corporate America that I have to hear that term all the time. I hate that term so much, but it still gets thrown around. When everybody starts worrying and considering everybody else, it becomes very, very difficult to come to any kind of conclusions. This is one reason why ladies, and pay attention, this is one reason why ladies, and not just ladies, but people in general, people hate the question of, like, going out on a date. What do you want to do? Well, what do you want to do? I mean, anything's fine with me. You let me know. I mean, I'm easy. Like, fuck, man. You know, women like a man who's going to take charge. Say, woman, I'm going to get steak tonight. you want to come with me? They say, yeah. You know, women understand this concept very well, I think. And that's, you want a leading man, someone who's going to basically declare the path he's on and say, there's an open seat if you want to sit in it. If you don't, that's cool too. I don't really need a co-pilot, but you're welcome to come sit and come along with me. You know, that is the attitude Trump has. That's why he has this inalienable base. Because he's declared, this is the path I'm on, this is what I'm doing. It's the same thing as, this is where I'm going to go have dinner. If you want to come with me, you're welcome to. If not, that's cool too. And people are like, well, yeah, you know, I guess I like steak, so sure. If you're paying. So, although in politics, we're paying, but I digress. That is versus saying, well, where do you want to eat? Oh, well, I don't know. Well, you know, usually I like to, you know, get something that's chicken, you know, something that's not too expensive, but, you know, what is the best option for all of us for dinner tonight? Well, let's see, how many of us are vegetarian? How many of us have, gluten intolerance? Any dietary concerns? Halal, kosher? Okay. Well, now that we have the whole collection of all of our dietary preferences, let's examine, you know, a number of different restaurants that meet these criteria and have a look at their menus and then collectively decide which restaurant we would like to go to. Well, shit, man, a whole group of people is just going to sit there and just be stuck forever until somebody pulls up on their ball ped and says, I'm going to go get some fucking steak. Anybody who wants some fucking steak, hop on the ball ped and we'll go. And people will either say, okay, yeah, steak. You know, you have the right to declare your reality. You have the right to declare what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and where and when. And all you have to do is tell the people around you what these things are. And you let them make their decisions for themselves. And now whenever you think about it, it becomes very, very hard to criticize based on that. Because in the example I just gave with this steakhouse, where everybody's trying to be oh so considerate about all the dietary needs and dietary restrictions of people, etc. And a homeboy shows up on the ball ped and half of them go riding off. It becomes very hard to criticize that logically. You can't say, Jesus, what, so is everything just steak about him? Like, I don't know, it's Taco Tuesday. Why go get steaks if it's Taco Tuesday? I mean, he could have asked about Taco Tuesday. You know, I'm not going to go for steak. We're going to go for tacos. Steak is stupid. You know, why is everybody else like, why, I don't understand why people want steak when it's Taco Tuesday. Right? You see what I mean? It becomes very difficult to criticize that mindset with anything that's going to stick. Because even being the biggest asshole of a person, it still becomes very, very difficult to criticize that specific type of behavior. People can hate steak all they want. You can be a whole group of vegetarians and you can all hate steak. But the behavior of pulling up and saying, hey, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing, who's with me, like Jerry Maguire, who's with me, becomes very difficult to produce a consistently sound argument against it and a consistent solution, because everybody's trying to have an input and everybody's trying to agree on one path, and that shit just doesn't ever happen. So remember that. Give it a try. I would think you'll find it puts you on the path to healing a lot better than trying to please people. And I'm out of time. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, or share, and thank God my cat's not in the car, and I'll see you on the next video.